The Pixel 7 Pro costs too much money. Actually, I don't think that it does. That's just something that I've heard and that I've seen. And it's funny to me that people think that it's overpriced. Now, it depends on what kind of argument you want to make, because a lot of times you take a look at it and yeah, what it actually costs to make one and market it and supply it and all that stuff is probably about $400, maybe $450. So the rest of that, maybe it's profit, maybe it's not, but the Pixel 7 Pro $899. Well, we can look at this a couple different ways. If you look at it and try and make that argument on an economy value based off of profit and price margin, well, you got a lot of other competitors out there that are charging even more money. So that kind of goes out the window. For what you get for $999, you get the iPhone 14 Pro, which is pretty much on par with the Pixel 7 Pro, but it's got a smaller screen. The Pixel 7 Pro really competes against the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is $1099. So that's $300 more. Wait, no, $200 more. Got ahead of myself with my math. So yes, $899, $999, $1099. So $200 more. I'm going to leave that in there because I'm human, and I think y'all know I can count. So we'll just call that a snafu while I'm talking out loud on camera. So $200 difference. Then you look at the S22 Ultra, which is what the Pixel 7 Pro competes against, $1199. So $300 more. So the most nearest comparison in the US market, other than OnePlus, which I'll get to in a second, $200 or $300 more. Basically, everything's created equal. You look at the screen, look at 120 hertz, Quad HD Plus, 3 cameras, macro lens, all those great things. Those are where they really compete. And then if you want to bring OnePlus into the equation with the 10 Pro, it was $969 on launch here in the US. Yes, granted, the 256 model, the 128 was cheaper, but it wasn't available in the US. And it took, I think, like 6 months or before it even got 5G on all carriers. It didn't have 5G on AT&T for like months. So I don't even really consider OnePlus much of a competition. I know there are some OnePlus fans, just like there are some Google fans. Both of you probably aren't watching this video at the same time. The OnePlus guys are probably not watching this. But I know there's probably one or two that wanted to switch over. I want to address it. But really, they're both fighting for the bottom, like, third spot in the US. And OnePlus has retracted and pulled back a lot with their efforts, their marketing, their commercial money, all that stuff. And they're now back under the Oppo brand. Well, I'm not sure if they were ever under the Oppo brand, but everybody knew that the brand that owned Oppo owned them, which is BBK. So it's basically the same brand. So yes, OnePlus, as much as I like their phones, like the 10T that just came out, I love the 10T. I've got the 9 Pro, great phone. Or no, 10 Pro. We're on the 10 Pro now. So yeah, the 10 Pro I think is good. 10T I think is a good phone. I'm looking forward to if we get an Ultra or if they come out with this 11 Pro next year. It'll be exciting, but I don't think it competes with the Pixel. I think really the two largest that it competes against are the S22 Ultra, not the Plus. And some people are probably saying, well, the Plus is $999. Yes, it costs $100 more than the Pixel 7 Pro. It does have 3 cameras, but the cameras are not as good. And then on top of that, it has the refresh rate doesn't drop down to 10 hertz. It only drops down to like 48 or 50, whatever it's at. So that's not on the same par. It doesn't have Quad HD Plus, so that also doesn't count. It doesn't have, just a couple other things here and there. It's not quite on the same level. So the 7 Pro is the Pro model. The Ultra is, for all intents and purposes, the Pro model that Samsung makes. So that one's out the window. Now, we have to look at what you're getting for value. And I think a lot of people like to hammer down on the Pixel 7 Pro because it's not Samsung and it's not Apple. It competes in the same space. And when you look at the iPhone 14 Pro at $999 or the iPhone 14 Pro Max, well, when you put those against the regular phone, we're talking about $799 for the iPhone 14, $999 for the iPhone 14 Pro, and then 14 Pro Max is $1099. So the Pro Max is still $300 more than the regular iPhone 7. And then when you look at the Pixel 7 Pro, it's $300 more than the Pixel 7. What makes it the more difficult argument to make really is more of a who's buying it, more so than a value. Because the Pixel 7 is outlandishly crazy good value at $599. Nothing comes close. And that should be their motto. Nothing comes close. If you look out there in the market spectrum for the phones, anything with what the Pixel 7 brings to the table, you got the new ultra wide in there, you got the new selfie in there. I think you got the new ultra wide. Actually, I don't think it is. But you do have the new selfie, and it's got the same primary shooter, which is top notch, same one as in the Pro. You have about a 4400 milliamp battery, you got a 6.3 inch screen, 90 hertz refresh rate, the new Tensor 2 chip. That's a whole lot. 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, $599. You're not going to find that in any other brand. So it's a crazy good value. And when it's a crazy good value, it's harder to upsell $300 to the Pro. But I would argue we're not trying to upsell people. And that's where the final argument comes into play. Because who are these phones designed for? Everybody says, who wants to get the iPhone, the regular iPhone? Oh, you don't need the Pro. The Pro's for pro level stuff. Why is the Pixel 7 Pro any different? Some people say, okay, well, is the macro and the 120 hertz instead of the 90 hertz and the extra telephoto camera, is that really worth an additional $300? To me it is, because you can't get it in the other one. And that's the phone that I want. You get the bigger screen too. So you get the bigger screen, you get more RAM, you get 120 hertz refresh rate, you get the telephoto camera, you get the new ultra wide camera, you get macro. When you actually start talking about the additional benefits, then yes, I think it is worth the extra $300. But it's not that it ever wasn't. It's more so okay, look at the cost versus benefit analysis. It's just not there. Like if you want the 7 and you would arbitrarily upgrade to the Pro for an extra 100 or 200 but not 300, that's a different metric. And that tells me that you don't care about the Pro. You just want to maximize your value and you want to get the better one because it's so close in approximation on price. And I get that. I understand that as full well. I mean, you feel like maybe you're leaving value out there on the table. You might want all of those things, different stuff like that. So when you dive in and look at it at higher than a grassroots level and you do some little analysis and plug and play, it makes more sense. Yes, I think it's very, very good at $899. If you look at the, again, OnePlus 10 Pro, it's $969 this year when it came out. The S22 Ultra, $1199. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, $1099. And then you say $899. It is the cheapest out of the flagship pro level phones. And I think it has the features and the skill set to back it up. So that's kind of my sticking point on this whole thing. If you want to make an economy value about it, well, an economy argument, you're kind of out there with all the other phones as well. It's basically the same argument. So no, none of them are worth $1,000 if you really want to add it up. No, they're not. But that's an intrinsic thing. That's what they sell them for. And Google is a premium company. This isn't like some company that's coming out of the woodwork and trying to sell you a phone for the first time for like $900. That people would bat an eyelash at. That's something that OnePlus got scrutiny for when it first came to the US and it started trying to raise prices. People are like, we like what you're doing, Mr. Never Settle, but your prices are not so much settling. So we don't want to pay that once they got to the $1,000 price point. So there's several ways you can look at it, but at the end of the day, I think $899 is fair. I think it's fair for a premium phone of its caliber. I think it's fair for the feature set. I think it's fair for the competition. And with the history of what you get with Google and the long-term support, I'd say that it's worth it. So that's all I got in this video. I really wanted to address that for people looking to get it, especially on the precipice of it going to be here. As you watch this in the morning, because I'm recording this the night before, it'll be the day before the embargo lifts. I'll have my Pixel 7 Pro on the 12th. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys and girls. I'll have my Pixel 7 and my Pixel Watch on the 13th, and then we'll have a party. But that's all I got. So what do you think? Do you think the Pixel 7 Pro is overpriced, or do you think that the pricing makes sense and it kind of fits in line with the rest of the flagship phones? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. So if you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, if you like this, you like the Pixel content, then please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out, which is every single day. All the time. That's what I do here on Tech Odyssey. If you like that, make this your home for watching tech videos. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.